All right, today we're going to talk about faith, faith and how to get it, faith in yourself, right? As soon as you start out on this journey, you start to trust yourself, you'll know how to do this, you'll know where to go, and you'll know what to do in this journey, right? It does take a while, I think, we all start out from the beginning with doubts, and what we want to do is have a bit of trust in ourselves, in our own abilities to do this. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Kevin O'Hara. I stopped drinking alcohol back in 2013. I'm a full-time coach helping people to stop drinking over at habitsv2.com. This one comes from, I just like this quote, this comment. It was from Mark Masters, and he said, when he stopped drinking alcohol, I recovered my patience, my kindness, my strength, and most importantly, faith. And faith, you might look at it like it's something that you get from God, right? And if that's your thing, then go ahead and do that. I think everything has to come through you. Whether or not you think God is helping you or not, I think it still has to come through you and your efforts. I certainly believe that there is that you can have the universe on your side. But I think you have to start out with this journey with the faith that you can. There's a lot of people who they've gone through this journey. The reason I drank alcohol for so long was because I said to myself, I can't stop drinking. I didn't say it in that way. I said it in the form of, I don't want to stop drinking. Why would I want to stop drinking? I'm a drinker, I'm from Ireland. This is what I do. This is how I enjoy myself. This is how I socialize. This is how I do everything. This is how I live my life. And it was a fear. You're fearful of stepping outside of that comfort zone. And no matter where it was, no matter what time of week it was, I always had. The more you drink, the more you have alcohol on your mind, or you have to get the alcohol inside you, or to get drunk, or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, right? So the first thing is to try and have faith that you can do this, that you not only that you can do this, faith that you will do it. That comes a bit later on, that there is no doubt that this journey is going to continue and that you'll never go back. I mean, it gets to a stage when not drinking anymore just becomes a given. You don't think about that. That's not a question that you ask yourself, but it takes a while to get there. Now, if I can stop drinking alcohol after all the times that I drank, all the alcohol that I went through, anybody can. Anybody can stop. All you need in the beginning is to have a small bit of faith in yourself. A little bit of faith that gets you across that line, that you can do a week without alcohol. There's a lot of people that can do a dry month without alcohol. I've seen people in Ireland doing, Lent is the 6 weeks of alcohol, and they do that no problem, because they know at the other end of it they're going to go back onto it again. So they do the 6 weeks of not having any alcohol, go back onto it, and then it's a cycle every year. But at least they get that break, right? But I think it kind of puts them into a false sense of security that they can do it, that there is no problem with them stopping drinking alcohol, because look what they're doing. But if you stop drinking alcohol with the idea that you're never getting another drop of alcohol again, that you're not going to drink alcohol ever again, this is a completely different mindset than if you want to stop drinking alcohol for a month. But we don't want to head into this. We want to have that idea that where we're heading to is not drinking again, but we just take it one day at a time at the beginning, 1 week at a time. Then you get to your first month, and then your second month. And that faith that you have in the beginning, that little bit of faith in yourself, it's what gives you, it builds up your strength. It starts to build up proper strength, not only physical strength that you're getting no more toxins in your body, no more shite that you're pouring in there, but mental strength. You get a bit of mental well-being, and that builds up a little bit of strength, a little bit of trust in yourself that you can do it, and that allows you to be patient, to build up that patience. I mean, patience and all of these things, they're all I think they're cornerstones of the habit. We're talking about this before, as in patience and perseverance and positivity, and these are really the cornerstones of that build a kindness towards yourself. I remember maybe about 6 months after I'd stopped drinking, I'm out walking. It's June in Spain. It's really lovely weather. It's starting to get a bit hot, but it's early in the morning. I'm out walking, like I said, 6 months after I'd stopped, and I just started thinking about how far I'd come in the journey and how much I'd done in that 6 months, how good I felt now. Like I had a skip in my step, a big smile on my face, and I felt good. I felt contented for the first time in a long time. I mean, I'd felt this feeling coming up, but I think it was one of the first times when I'd realized that a big weight had been lifted from my shoulders. And I started looking back at my old self, that drinking self, with kindness, this was just the way it was. This is the way I thought. This is the way that I treated myself, and that's fair enough. A lot of the time since that I've thought about my journey, it's been on that stage of, I wouldn't be where I am now. I am so happy where I am now. And if I hadn't gone through that whole 30 years of drinking, I wouldn't be where I am now. Right? I wouldn't have met the people that I needed to meet in order for my son to be born if I wasn't drinking. So there's a lot of things that happen in your life that one thing leads to another, leads to another. And once you can get to that place in your life where you're feeling contented, where you've got so much kindness towards yourself now and your past self, then faith is no longer an issue for you. You just have it. You have it in spades. So I want to emphasize that the most important part of this is that you have faith in yourself. You're feeling strong on the inside, up in your mind as well as in your body, and to have that self-patience, to have patience with yourself, that if you don't know how to do something, push through the discomfort anyway, and you'll learn. These are not tough skills to learn. They're tough in the sense that you have to persevere, and you have to push yourself in order to learn and to iterate. You have to go through the experience maybe again and again and again, and fail again and again. I'm not talking about the drinking now, right? This is the one thing that we want to stop from day one, not put any more of that in. But moving forwards, you're going to have shit days where you're just thinking, I just want to have a drink today, and I can't think of any other way around it. And you push yourself through that day, and that will give you so much strength because of your patience. And it is a form of self-kindness that you're saying to yourself, it's like with what do they say, tough love. Sometimes you're giving them tough love because they need to learn. Well, that's what you have to give yourself, is this tough love, right? Because you also have to learn, and there's no way you're going to learn if you don't push yourself through that uncomfortable barrier. And sometimes it's really uncomfortable. I'll admit that, right? It is. But, you can't, when we're talking about living our lives, I live my life now for myself, right, obviously, but also for other people, for my family, for my friends, for the people that I coach. And I always try to approach all of my coaching through as much of a kindness as I can, and look at them. You look at anyone who's going through this journey now, and to see that I've been there before, so no matter how much I know now, and no matter how much I've gone on this journey, I'm no better than anybody else, right? So, but you can't give something out of yourself unless you have it yourself to give. So you can't be kind to other people. You can't have patience with other people. You can't be strong for other people unless you've got that yourself to give. And it's where a lot of people fail, is because they're trying to give things that they can't possibly give because it's not inside of them, right? They haven't built up those strengths. So in the beginning, you don't have to have 100% faith in yourself. This is a journey of, It's the same with commitment. I talk about 100% commitment, but you can only give 100% commitment of what you can commit at that time. Give it a week or a month without any alcohol, and you're much stronger. You're in a different position, and the 100% commitment that you give then is stronger, right? It's much more forceful than what you give in the beginning. So, faith doesn't work that way. I mean, you can say to yourself, anytime you hope to do something and you have a hope in what you want in the future, the flip side of that hope is always doubt. You can't have hope without doubt. The way that I put it is this: if you build patience and, as this guy said, kindness and strength and perseverance, and you look at things through, you look at your own life and your own journey through as much of a positive frame that you can at that time, what happens is that hope turns into certainty. It doesn't turn into solid certainty. There's no such thing, right? We can't have a complete certainty about anything in the future. The only certain thing is the past, where you've nailed it down. So, but you turn a lot of what used to be hope into certainty. I started this journey in 2013, like I said, and a couple of years later, I made my first program. I used to teach this thing called the 3 Ps, and these are kind of core skills that we taught in the beginning of the program, and all we're trying to do is to get people to harness these skills in the beginning, and then you hone them, you sharpen these skills as you're going through month 1, month 2, month 3, so on and so forth, right? The first one is perseverance, and that's perseverance with yourself. So don't put the alcohol into your mouth. No matter what happens, you can cope with everything else that happens. Don't put the alcohol in. Cope with the days as they come to you. Cope with day 1, day 2, day 3, so on and so forth, right? And just understand that things will slowly get better. The discomfort will slowly disappear. The discomfort will slowly wane and then disappear in the long term. The second P is patience, and patience with yourself, right? Patience that you can do this, and that if you put in the time and energy, you'll do it. If you persevere with it. Patience to understand that this is a process, right? It's a process that has a beginning, that you step across that line, you stop the flow, you do the work, and then you move on. So that process has got an end to it. So that's having patience with that. Having patience that if you put the work in, if you get up every day and you listen to the video in the morning, and then you listen to the video in the evening, and you do the work that is involved in that, you'll get there, right? Number 3 is, the third P is positivity. And most people start this journey out with fear. They have a fear of missing out. They have a fear of who they're going to be. They have a fear of, I don't want to give up something. So they have this idea that they're giving up this thing in their lives. And they're looking at the negative side of things. But there are no negative sides to stopping poisoning yourself, right? So positivity, if I could take you out to that first year, your first year after you've done everything, you've done all the work that you needed to do, you get to that first year celebration and put you inside of your own self and how you feel. And like I said, looking back on your old self through kind eyes, how you think about yourself now, the prospects of yourself moving forward. And I guarantee you that the biggest opportunities, the biggest feeling that you will have in your mind is not regret of what you could have done or should have done during the year. It doesn't matter. You're excited about the possibilities that are opening up to you now in the next year, and you're looking forward to that next year. So, and then I took you back to that day 1 again, and I said, look, this is where you're going to be. You'd have no problem. It would wipe out all fears. It would wipe out all doubts about moving forwards, and you would just go, give me the booklets, give me the videos, where am I supposed to go and how I'm going to get there, right? The point of this story with the 3 Ps is I knew there was always something missing with it. There was always something that I couldn't put my finger on. And we've just moved down here from Andorra, and I think a couple of years before, probably a year after we'd moved there, I was up in the mountains and we were just walking around with the boys. It was up on top of the hill. It was just, you could see the dawn coming up, the sun coming up in in the distance over the mountains. If you've looked at any of my old videos, you'll see some of that. It was, it's just such a beautiful place to live. And I was adding some finishing touches to retouches that we were doing on the course, right? And it was just when I was looking out, I realized what I was missing all along, and that was the fourth P. I had to add another P, and that was perspective. And it was something that I've been teaching all along, and we called it laddering up. So the more you get through week one and you climb up a rung of the ladder, and you can see a bit further into your own life, into your own future. Climb up, you got to month one, month two, and you climb up a bit further. And the further you go up your own ladder, the more perspective you have on this journey, right? I wanted to talk about this from the beginning, that when you have perspective on, when you can start to see things from not just the day one of your journey, but as I said, if you can try and get yourself out to 30 days or to 60 days or 6 months or a year, and say that time is going to come anyway, right? That year is going to happen anyway. Where do I want to be? Do I want to be in the same position that I'm in now, looking out into the future and hoping and wishing that I can get there, and that maybe next year I won't be drinking? Or do you want to have that year under your belt and be excited about moving into year two? So even from the beginning, you can expand that perspective and have faith in yourself that you can get there. So I really like this message. I thought it was a message of hope and faith in yourself. Faith that there are certain rules in the universe, that if you follow these rules, if you put in the hard work in the right direction, if you follow the process, if you have a good attitude about yourself and about what you need to do and how you're going to get there, embrace the discomfort, and who else is going to do this for you? Nobody else. So in order to get there, you have to have faith enough in yourself to be able to put up with the discomfort and to put in the days. And like I said, those days are going to get there anyway. So there's only you that can question yourself and say to yourself, am I going to stop drinking today, and then in a month's time I'm going to be able to chalk off those 30 days? It's one of the best things that I can recommend to you, is to get a big sheet of paper, make squares of sevens, 4 sevens in a row, and just cross off your day in a big black or red marker. And just connect those dots, connect those X's as you're going across, and you'll see that after 30 days, obviously you've got an extra 2 in 30 days. Yeah, so you've got 30 squares to fill in, and then you can do the same for the next, as long as you need to do these kind of things, but you'll get there. And think about who is going to get there but you. Once you get there, the time is going to go through anyway, and the time itself doesn't care whether you stop drinking alcohol or don't. It is what it is. So I just like that one today. I know this has been a bit of a ramble, but I really hope you got something out of it, and I'll speak to you again soon. Onwards and upwards. Bye now. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth, eh?